Chapter 54, The Secret Pact. The hologram of Grand Emperor HFY vanished, leaving a dangerous tension lingering in the room. The new council, Lockster, Solari, and Naelf, had finally accepted the strike against Valerius. Lockster, feeling the heavy weight of the risk, broke the silence. "We have accepted the deal. HFY demands our support in the campaign to overthrow Valerius. But we must define something crucial: who will truly command the Council's fleets? Our fleets are powerful, but we are diplomats," Naelf intervened. "We are an alliance of bureaucrats, not commanders. When this war ends, if we triumph, victory must grant us not only political influence but military authority. With our alliance with the Terrestrials still a secret for now, we will be able to truly rule, free from the paralysis of the old Council. But the risk is extreme." Solari nodded. "The risk is immense, but it has existed since the very beginning of the Krtak invasion. Our situation remains unchanged. The mere existence of the Krtak is a threat, a problem for our very survival. We must see this through to the end. For our new galactic order to be respected, one of us must take to the battlefield. We need a military victory of our own. We cannot share the command of our forces with HFY, nor can we trust anyone outside of this circle." The need for legitimacy was undeniable. "I will go," Lockster declared. "I will command the fleets and coordinate the strike with HFY. You two will handle the local defenses. We cannot entrust the armed forces to anyone else for now, they could betray us. The new council is just beginning, and our political power hangs by a thread." Solari accepted. It is the only way for the new council to be born as a true power. The contingency plan. Naelf asked for the details of the real plan, the one only the three of them would know. "The matter is this," Solari explained. "One of us, Lockster, goes to battle alongside HFY so we don't have to share our army with anyone. He will attack Valerius. If HFY wins, Prax and Archon will negotiate. That is the key moment for Lockster to return. They won't pursue you," Solari continued. "Prax and Archon will be too busy fighting HFY or securing their own internal empire to have time to attack. By the time Lockster returned, the next phase would be activated. By then, we will have the first terrestrial resonance missiles," Solari indicated. "We've already agreed. The Terrestrials will honor the deal and provide us with more weapons in exchange for more resources. We will also have partnered with planetary representatives to install terrestrial counterfrequency nodes on every world, protecting us from Krtak technology. This will take some time that, fortunately, we have in this current situation," Naelf conceded. "And the representatives will see us as the ones who solved the threat. The Krtak terror will end with terrestrial help, something we will not deny. In fact, we should probably offer them a seat on the council." Lockster memorized every detail of the plan, his gaze one of absolute concentration. "We will not communicate until I return," he reminded them. "I will be close to HFY, not even my own fleet will know of this plan. I will return. I trust you will do your part. For now, I will focus on finishing Valerius and earning HFY's total trust." With a silent oath of loyalty, Lockster departed to lead his troops, leaving his two allies in the shadows at the heart of a conspiracy that promised immense power, if they could survive it. Chapter 55, The Price of Terrestrial Technology. The immense hall of the new council chamber remained in shadows, illuminated only by the cold blue glow of strategic screens. Solari and Naelf moved forward in a tense silence, each step reflecting a calculated decision and a perfectly clear path. Their destination was Earth. They had waited with forced patience for the combined fleets of Lockster and Emperor HFY to move far enough away from the system. They could not afford even the slightest trace of activity that might raise suspicion. Deep down, however, they knew that HFY was too blinded by the urgency and ambition of reaching Valerius's capital to pay attention to minor diplomatic movements. Once the trackers confirmed the critical distance of the armadas, they activated the first phase of the plan. Their priority was immediate and specific: establish contact with the terrestrials and secure the delivery of the resonance missiles. Those weapons, products of the blue planet's strange geology, could tip the balance of power at the exact moment of the coup d'état. The strategy of dominance. While watching the final preparations of the ultralight ship that would take them to Earth, Solari, with his implacable logic and distant tone, outlined the next stage of the plan, painting a political map of the future. Once we have the missiles, he began, without looking away from the navigation screen, I will attempt something even more ambitious, convincing the terrestrials to share their counterfrequency technology. Naelf listened intently, recognizing the magnitude of what Solari was proposing. Solari continued without hesitation, if we succeed, your mission will be activated. You will use all your influence to gather the planetary representatives as soon as Lockster returns victorious. The strategy was simple and brilliant. We will give them the formula so they can produce it on their own worlds. Until now, no one has needed it, their planetary cores have been stable, save from the kind of problems that dark energy generated in the terrestrial core. But now, circumstances have changed. Everyone will know that this technology is vital, because it is the only thing that prevents KRTAC absorption. When they adopt it on a galactic scale, the KRTAC will be left exposed and vulnerable. A dense silence settled between them. Solari broke the tension with his cold and calculating conclusion. Time is our most valuable resource. For now, we have a 3-week advantage over any significant event in the war. And if XYLAR were to win, that victory will only generate massive power instability within the KRTAC empire. That political fracture would give us even more room to maneuver and consolidate our power. Naelf nodded, feeling the weight of the responsibility, but also the security provided by the clarity of the plan. Then, there is nothing more to discuss, Naelf concluded with final decision. Prepare the communication with Earth. Chapter 56, Terrestrial Pragmatism. The Global Crisis Summit. The Pentagon's crisis room, underground and fortified, vibrated with the tension of a historic moment. On the large encrypted transmission screens, a mosaic of faces represented the world's leadership. In the center of the room, President Maxwell took the floor. I request communication with all world leaders, he declared with a measured but firm voice, beginning the emergency session. President Solis, from Argentina, laid out the situation bluntly. The galactic authorities were orbiting Earth, and their demands were direct. They wanted the missiles and the manufacturing formula for the counter-frequency nodes to protect their worlds. In exchange, they had offered Earth a seat and a representative in the Galactic Authority. Roberto Fuentes, President of Mexico, was the first to react. How many missiles are we going to deliver? I understand we must give some for security and the exchange, but we must keep as many as possible. As for the counter-frequency nodes, I see no problem. They would serve us all and could help cut off the KRTAC invaders' resources. From Beijing, Li Na spoke next. We have 7 fully operational missiles. I propose delivering 2, along with a user manual and some nuclear warheads. They might find them useful in their war. And I support delivering the node formula, it is a shared benefit. The President of Spain intervened cautiously. I agree, but what do we do about the offer to join that galactic authority? Solis replied with brutal pragmatism. Personally, I have no interest in joining. We must prioritize Earth's security. We can be allies if they require it, but not formally integrate for now. I vote for strengthening our defenses, producing more weaponry in exchange for raw materials, deploying combat drones, and continuing to investigate fallen extraterrestrial units to advance in interstellar travel. If we need research help in the future, we will talk to them. Exactly, added the Spanish president. We should also install military bases on the Moon and Mars, even if they are remotely controlled at first. Each nation's scientists must start working on this immediately. President Maxwell agreed and closed the session decisively. It is decided. We will deliver 2 Goliath missiles, the user manual, and the counter-frequency node formula. In exchange, they must continue sending raw materials. And as for me, joining the Galactic Command doesn't interest me either, at least for now. The vote was unanimous, a rare global consensus driven by survival. Immediate logistical orders were activated for the transport of the weaponry and technical documentation. Preparations in the Galactic Chamber. Hours after the delivery, in the Galactic Chamber, Naelth and Solari reviewed the success of the negotiation. The delivery had been satisfactory, they had received a reasonable amount of weaponry and, most importantly, the formula to manufacture the counter-frequency nodes. They gave us what was necessary, Naelth said with slight satisfaction. Now we need to call a meeting with the planetary representatives, but only after Lockster returns. In the meantime, we will continue sending more raw materials, the terrestrials will have enough to work with what we have already sent them. Solari nodded, evaluating the next risks and steps. Additionally, we must appoint a military general to coordinate the local defense when Lockster returns. We will hand over the terrestrial weaponry manual to that general and prepare a detailed defensive strategy. Naelth observed the star map, where enemy fleets were marked as red dots of light advancing inexorably. Lockster's armada and XY-Lars are approaching the hegemony's capital. In a short time, Valerius will notice and begin preparing his defenses. Then we can't waste any more time, Solari replied with a cold but urgent voice. We will get more raw materials and take the first step to establish our military defense. Both shared a tense silence, aware that every decision they made marked the thin line between the survival of the galaxy and enemy dominance. The machinery of war and secret diplomacy had been set in motion. The approach to the capital. On the bridge of XY-Lars' flagship, an atmosphere of dangerous adrenaline floated in the air. XY-Lars' fleet and Locksters were rushing at full speed toward the capital. Suddenly, the synthetic voice of the hegemony's communication system resonated insistently, breaking the tactical silence. Supreme Commander Valerius demands immediate communication with Emperor XY-Lar. General Th-Rak, the fleet commander, directed a glance at his leader. It seems the Supreme Commander has only just learned of our advance, Th-Rak commented. He never expected anyone to dare this, realizing only days before our arrival shows the surprise and lack of preparation they have in a situation like this. The system repeated the warning, the Supreme Commander demands immediate communication. Emperor, will you answer? XY-Lar, somewhat tense but also with contained fury, nodded. Connect audio and video. The link opened. The figure of Supreme Commander Valerius materialized in a bright hologram in the middle of the bridge. Beside him, the shadowed silhouettes of the hegemony elders added weight to the accusation. Valerius's voice resonated with a stony hardness, attempting to impose authority. XY-Lar, halt your army immediately and return to the capital to be judged, Valerius commanded. If you stop now, I will ensure the tribunal grants you some mercy. But you will hold no political or military office. The threat grew colder. If you insist on your march, you will face the death penalty, along with all your generals and even the brilliant Lord Scientist Zarkin. Being one of the few scientists who regulate and process dark energy, it would be a great loss for our empire, but he too will face death if you do not stop now. XY-Lar did not yield. His voice was thick with contained fury. That is not going to happen. We are going to attack and finish this. Your defenses are powerful, but they will not hold against us, and you know it. Besides, you no longer have enough time for organized preparation. Incredulity washed over Valerius's face. What is the reason for this treachery? Did the terrestrials scare you so much that you preferred to attack us directly and provoke a civil war? XY-Lar's face showed a flicker of nervousness, but the Emperor instantly regained his composure, his voice becoming accusatory. You forced me into this. You sent us to a certain death. You didn't understand the terrestrial resonance missile. You saw what it did to the central harvester, and yet you ordered us back to the attack without giving us time to organize or gather reinforcements. It was Elder Primus who demanded it, and you approved it with your silence. Now there is no turning back, I am coming for you. Valerius watched him with disbelief, anger displacing surprise. You face three fronts, our planetary defenses and the fleets of Caprax and Aarchon. XYLAR cut off the objection with cold determination. They are far away. They won't arrive in time. You will have to bear the consequences of what you have provoked. XYLAR cut the communication. The bridge returned to dim light, illuminating the inexorable advance toward the capital. In the high command room, Valerius and the elders remained. Elder Primus was silent with a somber face. Commander Valerius, almost unsure how to react, ordered the head of the planetary defense forces, prepare the defenses. Activate the orbital platforms and mobilize all reserves. Communicate with Caprax and Aarchon, tell them to mobilize at full speed. If we resist long enough, perhaps one of them will arrive in time. Let all the power of the hegemony concentrate here. If XYLAR wants civil war, he shall have it. Alarms began to blare in the capital, Kaartoxes Prime, marking the start of a storm that would decide the fate of the hegemony. Location, galactic nexus of the new council. Naelth and Solari looked at each other. They knew this was inevitable. He's going to try to convince us to have Lockster withdraw and leave XYLAR alone, Solari murmured. That won't happen, at least not until Valerius's regime is ended once and for all. We need Lockster and his forces to complete their mission, and in the interim, prepare our defenses for his return. When Valerius falls, the hegemony won't attack us immediately. First, they will have to resolve their power struggle between the three remaining leaders, XYLAR, Caprax, and Aarchon. By the time they resolve that mess, our galaxy will be prepared, even if they unite against us. I want to see the face this nefarious being makes when he asks for help. It might be the last time we see his hideous face. Let it be for history. Save every frame, every cycle of audio and video. This will give us power in the future. When all this ends, we will play it on every world in the Milky Way, so everyone knows it was us, along with the terrestrials, who liberated the galaxy from the terror of this plague. Not like the old, cowardly council. Connecting full audio and visual, Solari announced. The image of Valerius stabilized. New council, Valerius began, his voice resonating with forced authority. I have heard of you. XYLAR gave you the green light to eliminate your old council, and in that moment, you took advantage to seize power. It was a good move, I admit. But joining him to directly attack the capital, it is a suicidal act. I don't understand how you dared to go so far. Solari raised a hand, cutting him off with a calm and mortally serious gesture. Commander Valerius. You didn't call us to give us moral lessons. Go straight to the point. Though I can already imagine what you're going to say. I only answered because I wanted to see your face for the first and last time. Incredulity took over Valerius's countenance. It is incredible, the lack of respect with which you speak to me. However, if you order your army to retreat, if you leave XYLAR alone in this suicidal attack and beg for clemency, we could be lenient. Think about it, you have no chance. By the time reinforcements arrive, you will be finished. If that happens, it happens, Solari replied. I recently went through much more complicated situations, and yet here I am, ruling the Milky Way. We finished off our own authorities, and now we are coming for yours. I can handle this too. Solari straightened up. You are not talking to the old council. Things are different now. Valerius hesitated, his disbelief transforming into rage. Think carefully. What if I order Caprax and Aarchon not to come to the capital for reinforcements, but instead divert them to attack you directly? Solari let out a laugh. I've already analyzed that possibility. And I know perfectly well you won't do that. You're trying to manipulate me. Caprax and Aarchon will go directly to the capital because you, in case you lose the battle, will hide there waiting for them to arrive. One way or another, you are finished. If that happens, you will be exposed. Your entire world will see how you hid like the insect you are. No one will respect you after that. Solari's voice grew more powerful. I heard the rumor that Elder Primus ordered XYLAR to attack the terrestrials again and you agreed. And that, based on that, this coup was generated. Look at the trouble your own people got you into. You are not fit to rule. Solari, I assure you this will not end like this, Valerius responded, control vanishing from his voice. When we are done with XYLAR, we will come after you. Don't worry about that, Solari replied. We will be waiting for you. But we both know it won't come to that. The hologram dissolved. Valerius had cut the communication. Chapter 57, The Fall of Elder Primus. Location, Hegemony Command Chambers, capital of the Kr'tak Empire. Time, immediately after the communication cut with Solari, the hologram extinguished, leaving a trail of luminous mist over the control table. Supreme Commander Valerius stood rigid. His eyes, now stripped of any vestige of his usual arrogance, fixed upon the circle of hegemony elders. Solari and XYLAR are right, Valerius hissed, his voice low and laced with venom. He looked directly at the oldest among them, Primus, the lead strategist. This is your fault, Primus. You caused this. You pushed for that stupid terrestrial attack and gave XYLAR the exact pretext for a coup d'état. Now, you will have to answer for it. Primus attempted to speak, his mouth trembling, but Valerius cut him off at the root. You are going to a military tribunal, the Supreme Commander sentenced. And most likely, you will be executed. He gestured to the guards flanking the room. Take Primus away. The trial must be held as soon as possible. We have no time for litanies or delays. XYLAR is only days away. The guards, trained for absolute obedience, surrounded the trembling elder, whose muffled protests were lost as he was dragged out of the room. The message was clear, loyalty no longer guaranteed survival, and the hegemony was beginning to devour itself under the pressure of the imminent attack. Valerius turned toward the remaining officers, his eyes cold, and the command table lit up with a star map reddened by XYLAR's proximity data. The true battle, Valerius knew, was only just beginning. Location, New Council Chamber, Galactic Nexus. Time, minutes after the communication cut with Supreme Commander Valerius. In the center of the new council chamber, a holographic star map projected the locations of the hegemony fleets. The tension in the room was palpable, but Solari handled it with an almost unreal calm. Naelth was the first to speak, pointing to two large clusters beginning to shift from the edges of the map toward the center, finally. Caprax and Aarkon's troops have started to move. Valerius reached out to them, Solari noted. They will move their forces to relieve the pressure on the capital. It is their natural move. Naelth hesitated. But, do you think it is remotely possible that any of them will head here? A preemptive strike against our power base? Unlikely, Solari replied. Valerius will try to resist until they arrive. Even if one of them were to attack us directly, it would take them weeks to cross the distance. And by then... He paused. We will already have the Milky Way partially defended. The terrestrials are the key. With the amount of raw materials we brought them this time, Solari continued, they are going to ramp up their production. We could have 2 or 3 more missiles than we already have, weapons the hegemony doesn't even understand, and perhaps, they will give us more nuclear warheads. At first, they gave us a few as a symbolic gesture, but this time they will deliver more for the common good. He looked at Naelth with determination. In a few days, or perhaps a week, I will go to Earth. I will explain the situation, I will show them how close we are to victory. We have fulfilled our pact, and now they must fulfill theirs. That would only be necessary in case Valerius commits the stupidity of sending a minor fleet here before XYLAR reaches the capital. But it won't happen. He is cornered. All his attention is on the fate of his pathetic empire. Naelth, nervous about the situation they had reached, asked Solari, doesn't all of this make you nervous? We are governing the galaxy after having finished off the old council, and now we are sending troops, and when the time comes, we will have the entire KR-TAC hegemony against us, even XYLAR. I'm glad it doesn't look like I'm nervous, Solari replied. I understand the situation, and yes, it makes me nervous. But I also understand that one has to do what must be done to fix things. If we did nothing, the galaxy was going to turn into ashes. Don't forget the massacre these genocidal beings committed in the past. They pulverized 42 worlds and no one dared to go against them. We did the right thing, and we will see what happens next. Of course, XYLAR will be furious when Lockster takes his chance and leaves him alone, but first, he will have to solve his internal problems before seeking revenge. Chapter 58, Preparation for the Assault. Location, Bridge of the Flagship, XYLAR's fleet. Time, the final hours before reaching the capital. The massive viewport of the bridge showed the capital of the hegemony in all its magnitude. XYLAR's fleet was no longer moving. The time for waiting had ended, only the attack remained. XYLAR turned toward General THRAC with a dangerous calm. General, it is almost time. Our objective is clear, we will destroy all their defenses and capture, then eliminate, Valerius. And as a priority, Elder Primus and the others. He paused, his gaze sweeping over the crew. I want our troops to know the truth, this conflict was caused by those elders and their failures. Lockster's troops will simply provide support. They will attack by our side, see to it. The capital's defenses could not prepare properly, THRAC confirmed, pointing to several indicators on the tactical screen. They didn't have time to recall all their ships either, they are disorganized. Furthermore, Valerius's people are afraid, even if they don't show it. I know, XYLAR said. They aren't used to an attack on the capital. His expression hardened. But Valerius must have a secret escape plan or a place to hide if he loses the battle. We must have a team dedicated to tracking him. We cannot allow the Supreme Leader to hide and return later to cause more trouble. While they reviewed the final details of the attack plan, an alert lit up on the communications panel. Valerius requests communication. I will answer. It will be the last time I give him the chance to speak with me. If he is still alive when this is over, he will only hear his execution sentence in front of everyone, and the elders who accompany him. Connect full audio and visual. Valerius's figure appeared in the hologram. He looked tense, yet he tried to maintain his posture of authority. XYLAR, Valerius said, his voice sounding forced. I understand the reason why you came. And though this is a great betrayal, I want you to know that Elder Primus has already been executed for being incompetent. His death should be enough to stop this. Valerius continued, making his last desperate offer, withdraw your ships. Return to the capital to be judged, and I promise you will not be sentenced to death. Years of prison await you, but you will live. If you do not, you already know the end. XYLAR maintained silence for a moment, letting Valerius's words die in the air. Then, he responded with a cold, firm voice. The end? The end will be us eliminating you. I will sentence you to death when the battle is over. There is no other option. The fact that you condemned Primus will not calm me down. I personally wanted to kill him myself, so it has the opposite effect. The situation is irreversible. This ends now. No matter what happens after this battle, you are going down. The totalitarian system of government that you have controlled for thousands of years ends today, with your defeat. Without waiting for a response, XYLAR gave the order to his officer. Cut the communication immediately. Valerius's hologram vanished, leaving the bridge in deep silence. The last chance for peace, however small, had disappeared. XYLAR looked at his fleet, then at the capital of the KR-TAC Empire. The attack was about to begin. Chapter 59, Low Orbit Deployment. Location, orbit of the planet KR-Toxis Prime, capital of the hegemony. Time, minutes before the start of the assault. XYLAR's flagship held its strategic position, surrounded by the bulk of his fleet. The planet Toxis Prime filled the view. The air on the bridge was tense, charged with the silent urgency of the imminent battle. XYLAR turned to General THRAC. Begin final preparations, XYLAR ordered, his voice resonating with an authority that allowed no rebuttal. Review the attack plan one more time. I want 0 errors in execution. THRAC nodded solemnly and activated the large star map detailing the capital's defensive structure. The assault plan stands, THRAC began. Our Vanguard fleet will initiate the first phase. The primary objective is twofold. Bombard the 3 orbital defense platforms and neutralize the main planetary shield generator. This will open a passage for the landing ships. And the expected resistance? XYLAR asked. We expect strong initial resistance, though less than it should be due to the surprise and lack of preparation time. There is likely a significant number of emergency new recruits with no real battle experience, THRAC replied bluntly. Valerius still controls several reserve fleets, and we know his destroyers are positioned. The possibility of casualties in the Vanguard is medium. We estimate we could lose between 20 and 25% of our fighters in the initial orbital assault to secure entry. XYLAR nodded. Let the squadrons know. We will not waste time on minor skirmishes. THRAC continued, pointing to a key location on the surface. Once the shields fall, our main force, the landing ships, will make a rapid entry and deliver our assault troops to the designated zone. The mission on the surface is a lightning strike. Locate, capture, and ensure the elimination of Valerius. And the support troops? XYLAR asked. Lockster's allied fleet will accompany our main force, staying in a reserve and reinforcement formation, THRAC explained. Their mission will be to provide fire support and cover any flank that remains exposed if Valerius attempts an evasive maneuver or a massive counterattack. They will not be given a primary objective, only to secure our rear. THRAC finished his report on the point that concerned XYLAR the most. We have teams ready for an attack. If resistance is too strong in the landing zone, we will have to keep attacking. Surrender is not an option. We win or we die. We will fulfill the objective of eliminating Valerius before the reinforcements from Caprax or Archon can even draw near. XYLAR closed his eyes for an instant, feeling the weight of the thousands of lives about to be risked. Then he opened them, his resolve firm. General, have all ships prepare their combat systems. Start the countdown. The hegemony falls today. Chapter 60, The Flare of the Assault. Location, low orbit of Toxis Prime. Time, end of the countdown. The countdown ended with a deafening roar that shook XYLAR's flagship. Space, once dark and silent, instantly turned into a hell of light and fire. From the command bridge, XYLAR watched the start of the attack. The fleets, led by General THRAC and Admiral Vale with thousands of ships, dove toward the hegemony's orbital defenses, accompanied by Lockster's fleets. The air was filled with shouts and status reports as the first ships exploded in flashes of plasma. The hegemony is responding with everything they have, Commander, General THRAC informed him. Their heavy cannons are targeting our largest vessels. Phase 1 was critical, neutralize the planetary shields. XYLAR saw the main squadrons break away, flying in attack and evasion patterns to confuse the enemy targeting systems. The battle was not simple, it was a complex web of crossfire. The hegemony ships attacked with ferocity. Use the long-range missiles. Do not stop until that layer of protection is gone. XYLAR ordered. Dozens of missiles streaked out from XYLAR's fleet. The impact was massive. 2 of the 3 defense platforms exploded in a chain reaction that illuminated the orbit. However, the remaining platform held, concentrating its fire on the approaching fighters. The 3rd platform is still active. THRAC shouted. And they have deployed a new line of interceptor fighters from the atmosphere. They are trying to buy time. XYLAR did not hesitate. Have half of Lockster's fleet divert. Their mission is simple: keep those fighters occupied and protect our landing ships. Let them serve as reinforcements on the outer line. As the battle intensified, the primary objective drew near. HFY's ships finally managed to concentrate enough fire on the shield generator. For an instant, the planet Toxis Prime seemed to glow intensely, and then, the energy dome protecting it dissipated. Shields down. We did it, an officer shouted. HFY, anxious to finish Valerius, saw they were able to breach the planetary shield, though at a high cost of lost ships. General HFY, order immediate landing. Have the first wave of troops head to the capital. There is no time to waste. Emperor HFY prepared to watch the descent of his troops, knowing that the price of this partial victory would be paid with a large number of casualties on the ground. The fall of the shields was only the end of the first act. The true hunt for Valerius was about to begin. Chapter 61, The War of Attrition in Orbit and the Descent. Location, orbit and surface of Toxis Prime. Time, hours of uninterrupted combat. The orbital battle stretched on for hours, transforming from a lightning assault into a brutal war of attrition. From the command bridge, HFY's face reflected the tension of the struggle. Victory was a certainty. The hegemony ships fought with blind desperation, utilizing heavy surface cannons to support their fleets. Emperor, the enemy fleet is attempting to surround us. General HFY shouted. Have Lockster's ships move into action. Use the hit-and-run tactics we planned. We don't want a frontal fight. We only want chaos. Lockster's support ships were fast. They dispersed and launched themselves like a furious swarm. Their vessels did not stop to engage. They approached enemy destroyers, unleashed a barrage of missiles or a rapid bombardment against vulnerable points, such as engines and communication towers, and immediately turned back at maximum speed to vanish before a counterattack could land. They repeated the cycle over and over, hit and run. This tactic, while not destroying the massive ships, kept Valerius's fleet constantly wounded and disorganized, unable to concentrate their firepower. Finally, HFY delivered a report to HFY. Damage report. After hours of sustained combat, HFY announced. We have won the orbit, HFY reported. The shields are completely inactive, all 3 orbital platforms have been destroyed, and a large part of the hegemony's defending fleet is incapacitated or has retreated. We have secured the landing zones. Enemy morale is completely broken, their formations have disintegrated. We have fulfilled the first phase. And the cost? We suffered a significant number of casualties among the assault crews. Our fuel and ammunition supplies are low, but we can resupply with planetary resources and what remains of Valerius's army. We won't be able to convince the high-level generals, but we can convince the mid-level ones to join us. It would be a good idea to recruit a large portion of the civilian population, offering them an opportunity in a new empire. The properties of our fallen enemies could serve as an offering for new soldiers, along with the promise of a better life than the one they had. Rebellion against us serves them no purpose, they will ensure their survival and that of their families. We need to show Caprax and AR Khan that we have everything under control here. We must start organizing. HFY nodded. Yes, good idea, General. We have a window of 2 to 3 weeks, but let's start from the beginning. Order the landing teams to capture all of Valerius's generals and soldiers. HFY stepped onto the surface of Toxis Prime. The ground was a mixture of charred debris and dust, the air smelled of burnt metal and bitter victory. The capital was in flames. Flanked by his personal guard, HFY walked among the first troops securing the zone. General HFY, having fulfilled the mission of winning the battle and taking control of the capital, warned Emperor HFY that Valerius and the elders were gone. A captured general had confirmed it. It seems he activated an escape protocol just before the shields fell. Chapter 62, Recruitment by Merit. Location, Command Hall of the Capital, now under XYLAR's control. Time, hours after the city was taken. XYLAR occupied the imposing command chair, the same one Valerius had used for years to dictate his tyranny. General Thrak stood by his side, along with Admiral Vale and the Lord Scientist, reviewing the latest reports. The room was quiet, but the tension was palpable. Valerius remained a fugitive. Emperor, the search for Valerius continues in the lower tunnels, Thrak informed him. We have captured Valerius's generals, but their loyalty is doubtful. What is the order? Loyalty is not bought, General, it is earned, XYLAR replied with a cold gaze. Formally arrest the generals. Their time in power is over. We will not trust the high-level generals, at least for now. Later, when everything is organized, they will receive a fair trial and perhaps be released. But for now, they remain in custody. However, their troops do matter to us. We need their experience and their ships. Bring in the mid- and low-level officers who were captured. They are the backbone of the army, they are the ones who truly know the soldiers. Minutes later, the mid-rank officers were escorted into the hall. They were younger, and their desperation was more evident. XYLAR spoke to them directly, without preamble. I am XYLAR. And you are in the capital of the hegemony, which is now under our control. Your generals are under arrest. Valerius abandoned you to hide in the sewers, and before fleeing, your leaders executed Elder Primus for incompetence. He paused to let them assimilate the new reality. Your old system devoured itself. You are competent officers. Why should you continue to follow a hiding ghost or generals who allowed this defeat? A young officer spoke with a trembling voice, our troops will follow us, but we are loyal to the hegemony. The hegemony you knew is dead, XYLAR sentenced. I do not ask for blind loyalty. I offer you something Valerius never gave you, command by merit. You will be promoted to the positions your traitorous generals left vacant. You have fought well, now you will fight for freedom. XYLAR addressed the group with a direct offer, to all of you and the troops under your command, you will be granted total amnesty. Your families will be protected. Your ships will be repaired, and you will receive full supplies, better than what Valerius gave you. As of today, you become the new leaders of your respective units, answering only to me, and to General Thrak and Admiral Vale in that order. You decide if you want a second chance or if you prefer to die. You have the choice. The officers looked at one another, understanding the opportunity. Most of them had been frustrated by the foolish orders of the generals. Now, defeat was turning into a sudden promotion. I understand the situation, Emperor XYLAR, said the young commander who had spoken before. I fulfilled my duty before, so I will fulfill my duty now. I will do my part. XYLAR nodded with satisfaction. Excellent. General Thrak, begin the promotion process and the oath of loyalty immediately. Commanders, your first order is to ensure every unit knows that Valerius is a cowardly fugitive, in that way, I will understand you are on our side. The battle is over, and the new leadership trusts you. If you do things well, all will go well. If not, the punishment will be legendary. Chapter 63, Strategy at the Galactic Nexus. Location: Stellar Chamber of the New Council, Galactic Nexus. Time: immediately after the successful assault on the hegemony capital. The large holographic screen in the center of the stellar chamber flickered, showing chaotic but victorious images of the assault on the capital. The message was clear, the hegemony had fallen. Solari watched the recordings of the explosions with contained satisfaction, standing alongside Naelth. It is a decisive triumph. XYLAR has delivered, Solari affirmed, turning to Naelth. This is the exact moment to consolidate our position. We must wait for Lockster to return before holding an emergency meeting with the planetary representatives. We cannot have a meeting before then due to a possible information leak. If Emperor XYLAR finds out what will be discussed in that meeting, he will kill Lockster. Solari walked through the room. Remember, for now, communication with Lockster must be zero for security reasons. No one in his circle must suspect what is happening. We cannot take that risk until he returns with the troops. He knows that as soon as he has the chance, he must return with the rest of his fleet. The images he sent confirm that XYLAR won the battle, Nailth commented. That will keep XYLAR focused on the capital and not on us. Exactly. While XYLAR ties his own hands there, we secure loyalty here, Solari said. It is time to install the counter-frequency nodes in as many worlds as possible. That will reassure the delegates and prove to them that we are more than prepared to govern. Basically, we are their saviors, alongside the terrestrials. We cannot deny or omit that. The chamber door opened, and a tall man with a severe face entered. It was General Kalen, the military chief Solari had placed in command of all the Nexus defenses. General Kalen, just in time, Solari said. I want you present when the delegates arrive. It is vital that the planetary representatives meet you and understand that the military power protecting us is real and is here, under our command. Your presence will give them the security that the old and weak council could never offer. Kalen squared his shoulders. I will be ready for the security report. The defense systems are 100% operational. Location, Command Center, KR Toxis Prime. The holographic map room of the capital, now in XYLAR's hands, hummed with the tension of a new regime. XYLAR observed the movements of his new units while his lieutenants presented reports. The High Command has been arrested and informed of a fair trial in the future, an officer reported, and their subordinates are being evaluated. We have recruited 3/4 of the squadron captains and half of the lieutenants. Loyalty is a scarce commodity in times of change, XYLAR replied. And ambition is a powerful engine. Incorporate them. Fresh and ambitious blood is what we need. But let's set the recruits aside for now. Any news on Valerius and the elders? Nothing conclusive, Emperor. The assault teams have swept the upper levels and are now at the access points of the maintenance tunnels. It seems they vanished. The reports on the search for Valerius and the elders are disappointing. I need you to reinforce the search. Have your people join the tunnel inspection. We cannot allow them to escape. Their flight would be a dangerous symbol, it could influence new recruits or their former soldiers, generating more chaos. We need to organize the Empire as soon as possible. Just then, Lockster took the opportunity to speak. His face showed a mix of concern and determination. Emperor XYLAR, permit me to suggest a change of focus. The capital is vast, but if Valerius is as cunning as rumored, knowing we were going to take it means he might have fled beforehand. The tunnels could be a decoy, a distraction to buy time. Are you saying Valerius is not in the tunnels? Would he have had time to go elsewhere? XYLAR asked. Lockster nodded, but his response was unexpected. It is evident that something is wrong with this search. XYLAR straightened up, interested. What do you propose? That my soldiers focus on other sectors of the planet. With the personnel I have, we can perform a sweep of the cities. I will deploy all my staff for the search, thousands of soldiers searching house by house. If they aren't underground, they must be on the surface, hiding in plain sight. If they are on the planet, we will find them before the day is over. XYLAR considered the plan. Lockster, your proposal offers broader coverage. So be it. Prepare your teams. Let the search be exhaustive, but do not generate terror among the civilians. I will need to recruit many of them soon. Initially, I will offer them an opportunity. If that doesn't work, I will use fear instead. Let there be no corner of this planet where we do not look. It shall be done, Lockster replied and withdrew. In the improvised command center of his own troops, far from XYLAR's surveillance, Lockster moved with feverish urgency. His men, the hardened survivors of the assault, prepared to board the ships that were still operational and which they had managed to secure in the landing sector. Ensure every man is at his post on the operational ships. Lockster ordered with a powerful voice. Lockster paused, his gaze fixed on his second-in-command, Callias. Callias, it is time to leave at full speed. XYLR has too many problems right now, the reorganization of his troops, the pacification of the capital, the hunt. They won't be able to follow us in their current state. Callias asked Lockster, "Are we not going to look for Valerius, Commander? Are we leaving?" Lockster lowered his voice, ensuring only Callias could hear. "I regret not informing you sooner, Callias, but this was absolute top secret. There is no search. Valerius and the elders are being intensely hunted, and using the excuse of searching the surface, I will take the opportunity for us to leave. By the time they realize it, we'll have crossed the atmosphere, they won't have the intention to follow us, they already have too many problems. We have already agreed on this plan with Solari and Naelth. We have fulfilled our deal to facilitate the assault and create this distraction. They are waiting for us with defenses prepared, the terrestrial resonance missiles and part of the galactic army. They are taking advantage to arrange the empire. We must go now. We must leave before XYLR realizes his men are searching for ghosts." Callias's surprise was total, but he recovered quickly. "Understood, Commander. We will give the order to the pilots. We are leaving." Chapter 64. The Escape from the Capital. Location, Chamber of the New Galactic Council. Time, minutes after Lockster exited the atmosphere of the planet Krtoxes Prime. The chamber's communication system let out an alert. "Lockster is requesting communication," the system announced. "Connect full audio and visual," Solari responded. "Lockster, I see you managed to escape." "I am very glad to hear it," Solari said. "By now, XYLR must have found out. They aren't following you, are they?" "Apparently not," Lockster replied. "They are busy coordinating their arrival, assigning troops, and setting up defenses. They are also still searching for Valerius, they have no time to come after me." "Good. When this communication ends, Naelth will ask the planetary representatives to convene. Our defenses are waiting for your arrival in a few days. Everything is going well. How did you manage to escape without raising suspicion? Moving that many ships should have triggered an alert quickly, you shouldn't have been able to cross the atmosphere." "I took advantage of the moment they were searching for the elders," Lockster explained. "They are hidden somewhere, so I told XYLR they were most likely hiding somewhere on the planet's surface, and I used that as my chance to escape." "Well done," Solari replied. "Focus on your return. We are close to ending this nightmare, and you will return as a liberator. You, me, Naelth, and the terrestrials. We will see if they decide to join the Galactic Council. It's not that I necessarily want that to happen, but at the very least, we must offer it and insist in the future. If only to acknowledge their role in this situation, which will set a precedent for history." "That is fine," Lockster replied. "I need to rest for a while. I've been very on edge these last few days, even if I tried not to show it." Lockster cut the communication. "Naelth, it is time to call the meeting. Have the planetary representatives come as soon as possible." Chapter 65, The Offer and the Test of Loyalty. Location, Chamber of the New Galactic Council. Time, minutes after the end of the communication with Lockster. "It's done. I've requested the meeting with the planetary representatives," Naelth said. "They will arrive in approximately 2 or 3 hours. They are anxious to know the situation, they know there is good news." "Emperor XYLR is requesting communication," the system announced. "Well, the time has come," Solari said. "Connect full audio and visual." The figure of Emperor XYLR appeared in the communication hologram. "New Galactic Council. I gave you support to finish off the old council. We made a deal that you accepted, and now you betray me. You knew from the beginning that Lockster was going to leave. He made me believe he would help me in the campaign, and now he is gone. Just as I finished Valerius, I will finish you for betraying me. No one betrayed you, Naelth replied. We fulfilled our part. We helped you take down your king. Our debt is paid. HFY, with disbelief, responded, Lockster was supposed to be providing support in the campaign, even if only as a symbolic gesture with his troops, representing an alliance with the Milky Way to make negotiations easier during this power vacuum. Now you have left me exposed. But do not worry, I have Valerius's defenses, and we are reinforcing the planetary shields. Whether Caprax and Ar Khan like it or not, it makes no sense for them to attack us. They have no leader. They would have no reason to strike. But even if they did, I can handle them too. Are you sure about that? Solari asked. It's true, there is no reason to attack in principle, but how can you trust them? How do you know if, sooner or later, they won't conspire to go against you and rule among themselves? Think about it, HFY. Perhaps right now they are conspiring, making you believe they are on your side. After all, they have the perfect excuse. That will not happen, HFY replied. An attack makes no sense. They have everything served to them. They will rule alongside me, or the only other option is another civil war, and that serves no one. They will understand that the old government was corrupt and is dead. We will leave the past behind, and then we will come for you. If that is the case, we will be waiting for you, Solari responded. And I don't care about your situation, nor how you run your empire. I have too much to do here to worry about you. You used to come to our galaxy as if it were your own home. For a long time, I have wanted to rule the Milky Way, and I knew from the start that you were a plague. Whether you move forward with your empire or not is your business, I don't care. Perhaps you haven't heard, but we are allied with the terrestrials, and we possess several resonance missiles. You are no longer permitted to appear in our territory as you did before. Solari leaned forward. If you do so without our authorization, we will consider it an act of invasion, and all defense protocols will be activated. Worry about ruling your galaxy, and we will rule ours. We finished you. We destroyed your old government and liberated the galaxy from the terror you inflicted upon it. Solari cut the communication. Naelth, with an expression of pure satisfaction, said, Incredible, Solari. You hit him right in his pride. He got what he deserved. Those genocidal monsters will not bother us again, Solari replied. Location, Chamber of the New Galactic Council. Time, 2 hours after the communication with HFY. The chamber of the new council was packed. The planetary representatives, key figures from different worlds across the Milky Way, sat in a semicircle, their faces a mixture of relief and deep nervousness. The recent fall of the hegemony, combined with the speed of the summons, had sent their anxiety skyrocketing. Solari took the central podium, his posture exuding calm and power, flanked by Naelth and the imposing General Kalen. Honorable planetary leaders, Solari began, his voice resonating with firmness. The new Galactic Council has achieved what the old, cowardly regime never could, the effective defeat of Valerius. We allied ourselves with the only force that dared to fight, and we obtained the key to your security. We have secured the blueprints and the formula for the manufacturing of the counter-frequency nodes. This is the technology that counteracts the dreaded planetary absorption that KRTAC technology used to terrify the old council, a power that kept them paralyzed and has now been rendered useless for extraction. We are going to deliver that solution to each of you. Take it immediately to the scientists and engineers of your worlds. Everything is detailed and translated into galactic standard language. Work without rest. In a few days, this defensive technology must be functioning at maximum capacity in your orbits. The KRTAC hegemony is weakened and plunged into an internal power struggle. They cannot attack us now, they are too busy resolving their own political problems. Meanwhile, Lockster is already on his way. I tell you this now because the moment demands it, we have at least 2 terrestrial resonance missiles on this station, weapons capable of incapacitating entire fleets. And because we fulfilled our part of the deal, we will obtain more. We expect to secure more in perhaps a week. No one, not even XYLAR or the remnants of the hegemony, will dare to attack a system protected by such power. We had to keep this a secret until this moment to avoid being eliminated prematurely. The KRTAC hegemony is weakened and locked in an internal struggle for power. But we need to secure our defenses for when Lockster returns with the surviving troops. Our galaxy is partially defended in case they attempt a retaliatory strike, but survival is a collective effort. I ask you, for the safety of your worlds and your families, that each of you send troops and combat ships with a commander to this station, even if only as a symbolic gesture and a show of loyalty. Keep your armies protecting your own worlds, but send units here. Help us protect the galaxy from invaders. These forces will be under the direct command of General Kalen. Kalen stepped forward, his presence reinforcing the seriousness of the military proposal. General Kalen helped us rid ourselves of the useless council that had condemned you, and he handled the exchange of raw materials for terrestrial weaponry, Solari continued. He was part of the solution. He knows how to win. A planetary representative stood cautiously, breaking the silence. Commander Solari, this offer of defense is invaluable, the delegate said. Having reached this situation and achieved the fall of the hegemony demonstrates your capacity to govern. We cannot deny that the old council left us defenseless. We will fulfill our part. The delegate made a gesture of recognition. We will send the requested troops and ships. A commander from our fleet will immediately place themselves under General Kalen's command. Another representative stood up, nodding at the words of his colleague. I agree. The existence of the resonance missiles and the current weakness of the hegemony is the best proof that the power is now with you. We will not repeat the mistake of inaction. We appreciate the opportunity for real defense. The new galactic order begins here, and we will be with you. Finally, Solari asked for silence for a moment. I must clarify one thing so you do not think we have set aside the terrestrials in our alliance. We offered them a seat on the council, but they did not accept. I believe their interest is simply local, but if the galaxy needs them, they will be there. I must clarify that they do not easily trust anyone outside their own world. So far, they have only been able to trust me, Naelf, and Lockster, and it was not easy. Perhaps in the future, you will have more news from them. That is all for now. I will keep you informed of any developments. Begin immediately, so that the galaxy may live in peace, protected from end to end.